Welcome back. It is Wednesday, November 8th in the NBA. My 6 favorite picks are on the way. Let's dive into a recap from Monday. A 5-1 day. Heck, a very good day. We will take that. We did not have any picks yesterday because there were no NBA games. Let's talk about at Bancaro. We did have add is over 24.5 points plus assists. It was a 2-unit play. Hopefully you check that out. If we ever add a play, which is rare, I will say that. I don't add a ton of plays. It will be in the pinned comment. If you're a COS All-Star or in the DubClub, you get them as well. And of course, if you follow me on Twitter, I normally make a pretty big deal that's an added play because I don't do a ton of them, but if I do ever do one, they're in the pinned comment. Holmgren took us home. Maxey got it done. Giannis got it done. Day 4 of our ladder challenge hit. Day 5 will be posted later on, probably around 12 p.m. And then Cade Cunningham ruined our sweep. He had his chances, but whatever. He did not come through. But like I said, Day 5 of the ladder challenge will be posted a little bit later on today, so stay tuned for that. I'll also put a link in the pinned comment, which is where I put those added plays. And as always, if I've been helping you guys make some money and you want to join our DubClub, get our picks early. It's only $5.99 a month. It's best deal on the planet, if you ask me, and you get all our lines early. So when you see some of the lines in the videos that are juiced or moved up, it's because the DubClub people are moving the lines up. So if you ever want to join that, top link in description, go show some love to it. If you want to try it out for a month, go for it. It's only $5.99 a month. And I promise it will probably pay for itself and just less juice on the picks. But let's dive into the picks. The first one, I don't have any 2-unit plays today. I have one 1.5-unit play. We'll talk about that later. Let's talk about this guy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, over 28.5 points, minus 115 on DraftKings. This is the guy that's going to make the thumbnail. And while I just don't like taking, putting 1.5 or 2 units on a high line like this at 28.5 points, because you do need the game to be close in order for SGA to hit this. And while I do think the game is close, it's the NBA. It's the National Blowout Association for a reason. There are going to be blowouts left and right, which is kind of why I normally pick and choose my spots to throw, 2 units on a play. But let's talk about SGA so far this season. We're still playing for 1 unit. He scored 31, 34, 7, 32, 20, and 30 points, going over this line in 4 of 6 games. He scored 34. That came against Cleveland, who you will play again tonight. Rare that you see 2 teams in opposite conferences play this early back to back, in terms of twice, but I don't really care because I like SGA in this matchup. And the Cavaliers are much healthier than they were in that initial outing. Darius Garland's back, and they have Jarrett Allen back. What that means is you got Allen and Mobley starting down low, which means that they're going to pack the paint. So you're not going to score a ton of points in the paint against this Cavaliers team, but that's fine because we know SGA, who does drive to the hoop more than anyone in the NBA, he is great at getting to that mid-range look, and that's honestly the shot he wants to take, is that mid-range, 15-footer, and he's been so elite at that the past couple seasons. And I like that because the last 4 games versus Cleveland, 29, 23, 34, and 35 and 34 points in his last 2. The only game he went under, he only had 13 shots in 31 minutes due to foul trouble. He fouled out in that game. This is a Cavaliers team that, while I do have those guys down low that are great, defenders in terms of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, outside of that, they don't play a whole lot of defense. Isaac Okoro, their best perimeter defender, typically comes off the bench. He's also banged up, missed their last game. Outside of who else is starting? Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Max Strus. Yeah, put any of those 3 guys on SGA, and that's barbecue chicken. SGA is going to see that and say, all right, I'm attacking the hoop, and he's going to get to the free throw line. He's going to do his thing. That's what SGA is great at. He didn't actually get a ton of free throw attempts in his last game. We know SGA can go out there and shoot 15 free throws. If he's not knocking down shots, he'll find a way to get to the line, see the ball go through the hoop. He's been so good for us. We've trusted in the past couple seasons. He always delivers. He's delivering at least 29 points tonight. I also think he scores 30. SGA over 28.5 points. One of my favorite picks of the day, just for 1 unit. Let's dive into another 1-unit play. It's going to be a guy that is borderline COS Hall of Famer status, Tyrese Maxey, over 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 104 on FanDuel. Now, if you had an individual line, points is probably the one I would go with, but I like his other stats because Maxey's been filling up the stat sheet, which we will touch on each rebounds and assists as my analysis goes on. And like I said, Maxey, we're 3-0 on his props. He hits another one. Again, I don't know. He's getting to that close to the COS Hall of Famer status, and I don't see this game being a blowout. He's even delivered in blowouts. This game should not be a blowout against the Celtics. This should be a close one with everyone going try hard. I don't think Maxey, I'm not sure if I'll make the ladder challenge, but I know a pick in this game likely will, because these are all going to be guys that are trying hard in matchups. These 2 teams don't really love each other. But let's talk about Maxey this year. Guy's been a beast. 25.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, and 7.3 assists per game. Good for 37.3 PRAs. You look at his numbers. He's at 23, then 34, 37, 40, 43, and 47 PRAs, going over in every single game but one. Look, I understand the knock for this matchup is going to be, hey, Drew Holiday is going to defend him. Drew Holiday is a great defender, but do you really think Maxey's afraid of Drew Holiday? No, Maxey's going to be a guy out there that has supreme confidence in himself to go out there and do his job. And while Drew Holiday will make his job as tough as he can, we also have to look at the minutes Drew plays. Drew does not play a lot with the second unit. He normally plays, most of the first, and then he sits for most of the second, and then he comes back in. Well, that's kind of flipped for Maxey. You think about Maxey, he typically starts the second and fourth quarter, which is why he's normally blowout proof. And this is a guy that when he does honestly play in those second units, that's where he does most of his damage, because Joel Embiid's kind of they like to mismatch their minutes just so that one of them's out on the court all 48 minutes. And we know Embiid, he plays the first 12 minutes typically, and then he plays the whole third quarter. And if he doesn't have to come in the fourth, they don't bring him back in, whereas Maxey plays a ton. And while I like normally Maxey's over in points plus assists, today I really like the rebounds because this game should be close, and Maxey's not going to guard Jason Tatum. He's not guarding Jaylen Brown. He's not guarding Kristaps Porzingis. Maybe he guards Drew Holiday or Derek White if he returns, but at the end of the day, which I do expect Derek White to be back, look, Maxey's going to be kind of just hovering down near the rim, and so if the ball bounces away, I think he could snag 4, maybe 6 rebounds. He could snag a lot of rebounds tonight. Wouldn't surprise me. If this game's close, Maxey will play 36, 40-ish minutes, which he's done plenty of times. He averages 11.7 potential assists. He's going to shoot 18 or more times. Look, the Celtics will try their best to slow down Joel Embiid. Good luck with that. That guy will get his usage. But even in a game where Embiid dropped 48 points, Maxey still cleared this line pretty easily. So I really like him. I think he shows up. He's at home. We love Tyrese Maxey here. We love him. Go do your job, man. Over 31.5 points, rebounds, assists, stuff the stat sheet. But if you want to drop 30 points, we will allow that as well. Let's keep it moving, though. Another play, another just points play tonight. Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz over 16.5 points, minus 113 on FanDuel. If this does bump up to 17.5, I'm cool there. If you're looking for value, 20 plus points is probably what Clarkson's going to end up doing. If he doesn't score 20, he's probably scoring like 12. That's just how Jordan Clarkson goes. If he sees his first couple of shots go through the hoop, that man ain't passing. But let's talk about his last 4 games, because the first 4 games of the year, you're obviously kind of looking at guys that are just knocking off some rust. But the last 4, all in November, Clarkson been all right. I mean, he's averaged only 14.5 points per game. He scored 20, 21, 10, and then 7 points these last 2 games. He's only shooting 34% from the field, 25% from 3. Yeah, he's not playing too well, but I do anticipate him getting back on track after 2, or honestly 3 rough shooting games, because the Jazz have lost 3 straight games by 2, 28, and 17 points. Clarkson and the starters been benched the last 4+ minutes of the last 2 games. Now, they are taking on the Pacers. Wouldn't be surprised if people are starting to trust the Pacers, and that's exactly where they want to get you, because the Pacers are not a team that I ever trust to play any sort of defense. They will go out there and score points. Yes, they will do that. They don't play defense, so I'm not saying the Jazz play a ton of defense either. I do think the Jazz can keep this game close, heck, maybe even win it outright. And this is a team in a matchup that I really do like Clarkson in. I mean, you look at this Jazz or this Indiana Pacers team, they just don't play defense. The Pacers play at the second fastest pace too, so they're running up and down the court. And we've seen when guys shoot the ball versus Indiana, they normally have success. 21 guys have 12 or more shots against Indiana. 16 of those 21 scored at least 16 points. And we know Clarkson typically is not shooting just 12 times. If he sees the ball go through the hoop, I mean, in his last couple games where he still is tanking, he's still shooting 13, 14 times and been benched the last 4 minutes. If this game's even close, I think he approaches 15 to 18 shots. And if we can get the same amount of shots as we see his normal line, I will live with it. He's also played well against Indiana. His last 3 against them, 18, 19, and 29 points. Those first 2 where he scored 18 and 19 were blowouts. His team either smoked them or they got smoked. The other game that was close, he scored 29 points. And we know Clarkson, this is a guy, if he has 0 points at halftime, it is never over, because Clarkson, if he sees one shot go through the hoop, he is firing it up, he's going down with, he will be firing it up. Trust me that Jordan Clarkson, if you've never watched him play, he's launching it. And he also can get to the free throw line and score there too. I really like him today. I like his over 16.5 points. We'll roll with him. Let's hope that game's close. Now, here's my 1.5 unit play of the day. It is a same game parlay with a very easy pivot. Let's talk about it. Gordon Hayward, 15 plus points, and LaMelo Ball, 10 plus assists, plus 112 on DraftKings. This is 1.5 unit play to win back, 1.7, give or take. Now, I don't normally do 1.5 unit plays for same game parlays, but I really like this one, and my pivot would be taking LaMelo Ball's over an assist. It was 9.5, but it was about minus 140. Tad too juice for me to go out there and give a pick like that, but I do think that he does get 10 assists tonight, and hopefully they're all going to Gordon Hayward. We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But let's talk about this game, though, and why I'm putting 1.5 units on it, because I like this game against the Wizards. I mean, you talk about an over-under at like 244. I mean, what the heck is this game on? But we know 2 teams that don't play defense, which we'll talk about in a second. But Terry Rozier, He's out. He's helped us with the ladder challenge, but he is out. And last game without Rozier, Hayward scored 20 points on 23 shots, and LaMelo had 13 assists on 23 potential assists in 39 minutes. If there's something to note about LaMelo, finally got back on track, saw his minutes limit removed, dropped a 30-point triple-double. Can't imagine they throw him on a minutes limit again. And this is a great matchup against the Wizards, a team that plays at the fastest pace in the NBA. The team worse than them is the Pacers, right behind them. Then they allow 32 assists per game, most in the NBA. 128 points per game, most in the NBA. There is a reason this over-under is in that 240 something. I mean, the line keeps going up, and there's not a surprise that it's there because neither team plays defense. The Hornets don't play defense either. And so seeing this Wizards-Hornets matchup, and this could be a close game, and I really do think that LaMelo will be out there a ton dishing, and hopefully it goes to Gordon Hayward. And like I said, 23 field goal attempts last game. Hayward has 15-plus points in 19 straight games with 15 or more shots. Terry Rozier's out. They got Brandon Miller, who I think plays better tonight, but outside of that, I mean, Mark Williams not really shooting a ton. He gets assisted by LaMelo Ball. And then PJ Washington's the other guy, and then off the bench they got some other guys. But Gordon Hayward played a lot of minutes, should shoot a ton. This is a great matchup for him. And LaMelo, we know how good he is. He's been averaging, 8-9 assists per game on a minutes limit. Now with no Rozier, no minutes limit, he should be able to feast 10-plus assists from LaMelo, and obviously 15 points from Gordon Hayward. Go be friends, go pass to each other, get it done. I love this one at plus 112 on DraftKings. The lines might change. FanDuel or same game parlays do tend to change here and there, but if you can get at plus value, I think it's an absolute smash spot, 1.5 units on it. Now, my fifth play of the day will be another same game parlay. These featuring two Pelican superstars, Mr. Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. Each of them, we need 20-plus points and 4 assists. That is plus 144 on FanDuel. If the lines change, you should be able to do it. I think on DraftKings, you can tail this identical. If you're on a book where you only have 3, 5, or 7, I like both of them obviously at 3. I don't love Brandon Ingram at 5 because I don't trust him to pass. I know Zion probably can get you 5 assists, which we'll talk about. But let's talk about this one for just 1 unit, not a 1.5 unit play here. But I really like this one. If you're on the daily fantasy apps like PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, the natural pivot, in my opinion, my favorite pivot will be Zion's over in points plus assists. It's about 29.5, which I do like. But let's talk about this one and why we're rolling with these two guys. But first, we got to talk about the Pelicans injury report. They are down CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, Najee Marshall, and potentially Herb Jones tonight. I think he plays. But outside of those guys, I mean, if you go to one of your friends who is as a NBA casual, and probably you guys out there, or some of you guys are casual fans, name me Pelicans players. Go name me some Pelicans players that will play tonight that aren't Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. Yeah, I'll let you do it because it's not a lot of lists and not a lot of household names. Maybe get Jonas Valanciunas, but Jordan Hawkins, ever heard of him? Matt Ryan, ever heard of him? You thought that guy would play? He's a quarterback for the Colts and the Falcons. No, this is not the same one. But still, this is a team that is depleted and they need Zion and Brandon Ingram to show up. And if these guys show up, they still might get smoked. The last game they lost by 18. In that game, Zion still had 20 points on 10 of 22 shooting, 9 assists though, 15 potential assists, and Ingram 22 points on 10 of 22 shooting, 5 assists on 9 potential assists. I mean, these guys tried their best. They didn't really get to the free throw line. Zion only 1 free throw attempt last game, an anomaly. They only attempted 3 free throw attempts as a team. They will get more than 3 tonight. Heck, they probably each get 5. But I think at the end of the day, these are two guys that will have the ball in their hands literally almost every single possession they are on the court. And while the Timberwolves are a good defensive team, they have McDaniels to match up with Ingram. I know Ingram, he doesn't see any defender. He will go out there and do his best. And I don't think that this team and the Timberwolves can stop really Zion. You'll think Rudy Gobert down below, he could stop him. Yeah, the last time that happened, 43 points to your head. And Zion, we'll see if they try to guard him with Cat. That is not someone that can move laterally with Zion. So look, they're going to put Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram out in the lineup. Those guys will alternate minutes too, so that one of them's out in the court every single minute. At the end of the day, I don't think the Timberwolves can defend them. I think they'll be able to do their thing. 20 points and 4 assists, I think, is pretty reasonable for these two guys. They're going to surround those two with Matt Ryans and Jordan Hawkins, the guys that can shoot threes, space the floor. Jonas Valanciunas will play his minutes, but he has to deal with Gobert. And I really do think that we'll see both these guys go out there and score 20. They need to do that. If they don't do that, they will be at lose by probably 25. And I think they'll get their teammates involved too, and hopefully passing it to each other. Win-win. But either way, I really do like this one. 20 points and 4 assists from each of these two fellas. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, plus 144. I think it's a great spot to back both these guys. I don't really want to back them individually because it could be a blot, but I think if the game's close, this absolutely smacks. And even if it isn't close, I think it still can hit. We'll see how it goes. I really like both these two fellas on Wednesday night. And then my sixth and final play of the day will be the ladder challenge. It'll be posted later. So I just like to put this in there for the people that are like, where's the ladder? Now we're going to track it for 1 unit like we've always been doing, but it also will be live later on. I'll put the link in the pinned comment with the YouTube short. But if you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, you will find it there as as well. Let's have a day, everyone. Let's try to go 6-0 today. Sixth pick will be live soon with the ladder. Let's try to climb the ladder, dominate our regular picks. Let's have a day. I'll see you guys back again tomorrow with some more picks. Only a 2-game slate tomorrow, but you will see me then. It's Austin. I'm signing out. Stop asking about my nose. Peace.